G'day mate, how the bloody hell are ya? This is in the back of my head, podcast / creative journal. Weekly, jump on here and talk about stuff that's in the back of my head, about creativity, for the most part. I hope you're bloody well. How's your mum? What's she up to? I hope you've called her recently. Hey, today we're talking about taking a moment of quiet. Let's do that now. Alright. Let's get on with the bloody podcast. What is this, a podcast? I was walking quietly through the Melbourne CBD at 5:45 in the fucking morning. Now, I'm an early riser. I like an early rise. I like a 6:30 wake up, a 7 o'clock wake up. Start your day right, get some stuff done. 5:15 in the morning was when I had to get up to get into the Melbourne CBD, and I tell you, that was too fucking early. I don't normally work Sundays, but on this particular day, it was Mother's Day. And so there was the Mother's Day fun run, and the mums, how they love to run. And they needed some coffee, they needed some brew. So that's where I came in. And a team of others, obviously. It wasn't just me making an insane amount of coffee. Hundreds and hundreds of coffees. I don't know how many coffees we made. It's really not the point. I tell you what, those are some of the best customers I've had in some time. Normally, working any sort of public holiday in hospitality, rough fucking time. People want to have the best time. They've only got so many days on this planet, especially so many public holidays. So, Lord Almighty, it better be a good day. And if you get their order wrong, if you make any slight error, man, they're going to come for your head, come for your blood. I don't know what that means. But today, on this day, I think it was the runner's high. Everyone went high from endorphins, and it was a bloody good time. Everyone was like, oh, a good day, thank you so much for this coffee. Oh, it was lovely. It was bloody lovely. It was a treat, honestly. It was a good reprieve from the normal fucking cunts that I serve in the Melbourne CBD. Office workers. Walking through the city was gorgeous. It was beautiful. It was so calming. All I could hear was the sound of the crosswalks, the sound of my own feet, the sound of a distant tram. It was so bloody peaceful. It's a little bit dramatic, but I think those moments always make me think of the impermanence. Walking in a place that is normally so crowded, bustling. Ooh, how it bustles. People love to bustle, and I got no qualms with that. But to be in that space where it normally is like that, and then it's just quiet, no one's around. It's eerie, but it's also a good emotional reset. You think about the impermanence of everything. Sorry about that. Hey, I spend so little of my time quietly. I mean, I live in the city, and it's not the busiest of the cities by any measure. It's a big city, physically, in terms of space, in terms of people. And there's not a lot. There's not a lot in Melbourne town, but constantly being surrounded by the sound of honking, beeping, carrying on. I live on an intersection, and people just cannot stop beeping each other. God, they fucking love it. They love getting on the horn. I can't drive. I guess I don't understand. I mean, I guess I would do the same, because I just get so frustrated with people just going for a walk. Get the fuck out of the sidewalk, please. Can we walk at a pace that is anywhere close to reasonable? I would like to get somewhere today. Thank you. But that's kind of the background radiation, the background noise. The real noise that is plaguing my life is completely self-imposed. And I know that. But I believe that if I'm doing it to myself, I know that you're probably doing it to yourself as well. I'm sure we're all doing it to each other. We're all doing it to ourselves. Is the constant barrage of content. When I'm cooking up a tasty dish for myself for lunch, breakfast, dinner, you know the meals. I don't need to run you through those. I've got podcasts playing, I've got videos playing, YouTube. Oh my god, the number of hours of YouTube I watch in a day is honestly astonishing and gross. I said on the last podcast about collage that my brain is chaos, is noise, is hectic, manic, all over the fucking shop. Which is true. I think it's always been true. But I also think that I have fed it more chaos and embraced the chaos of my own brain, which only further worsens the situation. This constant stream of video and audio content into my brain. It's making things a whole lot worse. Everything is about productivity in this day and age. Now this topic is done to death, but I want to talk about my personal experience with it. And it's been on my mind. It's been in the back of my head, because I am insanely efficient at the things that I do. I think because I've hijacked, I have hacked, there's the term, hack your brain to be more productive. I've done that. Not through necessarily watching YouTube videos on such topics on how to hack your brain. But Lord knows I am stupidly efficient. I love myself a spreadsheet. I love myself a to-do list. I love myself a hotkey. Fucking hell. You should see the speed. I've had people actually comment with that shit when they see me producing in Ableton. There's a young person I'm mentoring at a studio that I work at, and this young dude was like, I just want to be as fast as you in Ableton. That's my dream now. And I've had that comment before from people when they're sitting next to me as I'm producing tracks for them. I'm like, God damn, dude, can you actually slow down a little bit? I don't know if this is even, this level of efficiency is maybe not the vibe. It's not the vibe. We're trying to relax and make cool music. And I do the same with scheduling content and stuff like that. I've found any way to shave off seconds. I have done those things to make sure that I spend as little time doing each task as possible. Now that's all arguably good things. These are all arguably good things. It allows me to do more things. It allows me to do the things that I do real fucking quickly. I know what I'm like. I know how my brain works. And so I have hacked it. Like, I don't have the best memory. I got memory for useless shit. But remembering dates, remembering things I need to do, not so good. Hence the to-do lists. Hence living and dying by my calendar. A lot of these quote-unquote brain hacks are just, obviously, productivity tips and tricks. But they're also sort of ways to, like, if I was being cynical, it's a way of saying, hey, your brain seems to be a bit fucked up. Not in my case, but those with ADHD. Hey, we see that you've got ADHD. That makes you rather unproductive. How about we give you these tips and tricks on how to be productive? And you're like, cool. Now I can work as fast as my comrades. All well and good. But it's still pushing you towards productivity as a goal in itself. It means that your brain is just always switched on. How can we juice it? How can we get as much out of this fucking thing as possible? And I do that to myself. How can I tap into my own head and get as much out of it as possible in a single day? I've even spoken about, on a previous episode, about online diet, about what are you consuming, which is important. That's the thing, all these things are good. They're good things within reason. Online diet, what are you consuming, especially in your downtime? What kind of content are you watching? I talked about that I wanted to watch more weird films, art films, and documentaries and things like that, you know, less junk food. But then that's now turning your downtime into productive time. Even your downtime, even with the time when you're supposed to put your fucking feet up and laze about, is now just as important. It is just as important, but it's now an extra time that you could be, in a way, working. You're making yourself more productive for later on. I'm looking at what I'm doing to my brain to make it hyper efficient, hyper productive, and it's being super effective. It's been insanely effective, but it's also probably super destructive. And the thing is that, like, the main thing is I can't fucking sit still. I already couldn't really sit still. Man, it's bad now. Man, it's really bad now. It's fucked up now. My sense of time is utterly destroyed. It's all very immediate. It's all very ticking clocks. Past week has been particularly scattered. There is moments of profound inspiration, productivity, doing things fantastic. But genuine, like, scattered anxiety. Just mind thinking about 5-10 different things all at the same time, jumping from one to the other. Be it creative projects or something else that's on my mind, doesn't really matter. Just jumping around. Trying to sit still, like actually just trying to relax, watch a movie, play games, what have you, is proving difficult. And it's coming out physically as well. Like, I'm always a foot tapper, a restless leg, you know? But the last week has just been almost like running. Almost like I got the zoomies. I got the zoomies like a dog. I'm running around like a dickhead. Because my body has all this energy, doesn't know what to do with it. And I think that is because in the past, I would say month to 3 months, I've been really going fucking hectic. Creatively, and finishing up a lot of projects with Vibe Union, running events, yada yada. But also, like, I set up my new space. I really love this space in our new apartment. And with that has come a lot of creativity, a lot of new projects, including, you know, focusing in on this podcast, trying to up the quality of this thing. And doing all these things alongside those hacks, brain hacks, of how to be more productive while doing all these things, has meant that when I try and sit still, when I try and relax, or when I just need a fucking moment for my brain to quiet down, it's nigh impossible. It's a weird duality of it. That you are hacking your brain, figuring out how it works, and utilizing it to the best of your abilities, getting the most out of it, and at the same time, perhaps you are going further down that path which you were trying to get away from in the first place. Turning almost like that curse into a boon, which is, again, arguably a good thing. But then how the fuck do you switch off? How the fuck do you switch off? My goal at the moment now, my goal for this year and just the rest of life. But right this second, my goal now is to try and get better at making art with a sense of timelessness. And I think that has been really eroded by the productivity, by the constant consumption of content, but also the fact that our art fits into the content stream, into the algorithms, the fact that it is put into the chain and off it goes. It's a little pulling of the lever of the slot machine, seeing if it's gonna fucking succeed. But it also means that if you pull that lever with whatever you've made, there is a real sense that like, oh, I really gotta pull that lever again. I gotta come up with something new. I gotta put up some new content. Is this constant need to make the next thing, which means it feels genuinely worrying when something takes as long as it takes. But things take as long as they take. Obviously, we really admire when we see work that is really labor-intensive, intricate. I think I've spoken about this before, but Bobby Fingers, maybe one of the best YouTubers on the goddamn planet, in my opinion, making some of the best YouTube content out there. It's wild shit. And he makes a Jeff Bezos boat. That makes a lot more sense if you watch the video. But he's molding a Jeff Bezos head, as we all love to do from time to time. And it's a huge head, and he is going in there with some sculpting tools, and he is individually molding each pore of the skin, and then hand placing each individual hair into those pores. Fucking incredible. We really admire art that takes a long time, that is intricate, that is labor intensive. Art that could be a form of meditation, repetitive, doing the same thing over and over and over again. But it's hard when, you're doing things and thinking in the back of your head that, oh, I'm going to put this out online, I'm going to put this into a thing. That then gives you this real sense of, I've got to get this done today, so I can get it out in time for what fucking possible reason? I want to get better at that. I want to make art with a sense of timelessness. Allow a project to just take as long as a project takes. Just enjoy that process. I'm not great at that. I want to get better at it. This podcast might not be helping. This podcast might be another form of really laying into that concept of just getting stuff out quickly. Find things that you can make quickly and put them out. As a counter to that argument though, this is a good little beacon. I think it's good to have maybe something that is your beacon to put out there into the world nice and easily. People can find that and go, oh cool, this is good. Oh, I'll check this out, Rather than, and then it gives the space to the bigger projects. Take your time with those ones. Hopefully that's what this podcast is just a little beacon, as well as a place for me to get some thoughts out of the back of my head. I want to create with a sense of timelessness. I hope you're managing that as well. I dare say that's it for this episode. This has been In the Back of My Head podcast, creative journal, what have you. Hope you've gotten something out of it. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you do enjoy it, please, for the love of Christ, leave me a comment, baby. Give it a like, yada yada, all that YouTube shit. But the comments, I would love more comments down below that I can respond to. If they're provocative, if they get me thinking, then that's a topic. Or I'll just respond to comments at the end of these things. Hey, it's early days, very early days of this little thing, this little project. I hope you're well. Be well. Keep making shit without worrying too much about it. I'll try as well. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.